Hi everyone. I just ate lunch. Hopefully you have too, if you believe in lunch. Today I will be talking about my fall and winter knitting plans. See, that's why I mentioned I had lunch. I'm gonna be clearing my throat a little, maybe. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be talking about my fall and winter knitting plans. I'm trying to, intending to serialize things on this channel. If you saw my previous video posted, it was a Whip Wednesday video, and I'm hoping to kind of keep that series going in some capacity. And I think I'm going to be, my mind may change, but I think I'm going to be labeling this sort of video format as knitting noise. It's not necessarily a podcast. Podcasts for knitting are usually about whips and whatnot. I think this will be more so for discussing my knitting plans. Uh, I guess, anything I want to talk about in relation to knitting via a more sit down format like this. Um, and anything else that I might think of. Like, I kind of am considering making a video opining about content creation, so that might fall into this umbrella. I'm not sure, but it could fizzle out. And then the other thing that I imagine making and intend to make is project vlog videos. And those don't have a fancy title. I think they're just going to be vlogs. So, anyway, today, thank you for listening to all that. Today, I will be going over my fall and winter plans. I will be staring at my little mood board I made that I will edit in to the best of my ability. And yeah, I'll just discuss what I intend to do. I will be mostly making things for myself, but those things will be self-drafted. And I also do have to make a lot of Christmas gifts still, and I'll discuss those too. Those will be patterns just to make my life easier. Let me actually pull those up because I don't have them right at the ready. I'm still on Ravelry. Let me go. Oh yeah, la la la, this one. Oh my god. So let's start. Okay, so I think I'm going to try to go chronologically here. I will start with. I have so many tabs open. Oh my god. Oh, I want to read that later. Get rid of that. 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 Keep that. Keep that. Okay. Oh. Ow. Whew. I need a mint. Where are my mints? Does anyone else always feel like they need a mint? Not always, but sometimes need a mint after eating. I just need to clean my palate. Anyway, so yeah, let's start thinking chronologically here. In my Whip Wednesday video, I talked about a sweater that I'm knitting for my father, and that is ongoing. That's just a self-drafted stockinette drop shoulder sweater. So I will actually be going to a knitting store. What time is it? Knitting store soon. Pick up some blocking pins, but I'm going to go look for yarn for the next two projects that are a priority. And those are going to be for my sisters, my two sisters. They are. I just closed the tab or minimized it. There we go. And I just opened DaVinci Resolve by accident. So, okay, let's clear that. Please, no. Okay, go away. Okay. I'm very organized. I'm going to be making the Harlow Sweater V-neck by Kadri. I hope I'm saying that right. And yeah, it'll just be in a cream color, she said. I don't know what yarn does it use. Before I go to the knitting store, I'll have to check what yarn. It says lace and sport, so I guess I'll do that. I might just do one yarn. Yeah, so that's that one. That's the first thing. I'll probably do that after this one because I'm going to also be making the Lulu slipover by Petite Knit for my other sister. And since that's a slipover, it'll be quicker and I might just do that first. Actually, maybe I should do the sweater first because the sweater will be longer. And then I can, yeah. Anyways, I'll do both of them first before all my stuff for me. So the Lulu slipover, I will try to get Pure Gint for that, but I know the store I'm going to is out of stock of Pure Gint, at least in the colors that I would want. She wants like a light purple for that. I'll look around to see what other stuff they have in the similar weight. It says DK weight. I'm not gonna do the chunky. I think there's or whatever. There's like another version of this slipover. I'm just gonna do the DK one. And yeah, so I will see what they have. I might have to order. I don't know. I'm gonna ask when they expect to get Pure Gint. I think they had a sale recently, so that might be why it's low. Also, I've just like through looking for patterns for my sisters, I've been looking at Petite Knit stuff, and she suggests Pure Gint a lot. So, and everyone seems to be knitting her shit. So maybe that's what. Maybe they're just always low on Pure Gint because everybody's buying it for their Petite Knit stuff. I don't know, but I do have some alerts for the yarns for email, but I'll ask anyway. But enough of that. So those are those two things, and yeah, I think I'm very confident that I can get them done. Especially because I have a deadline, a hard deadline, and because I'll have the pattern to work from. I don't have to think about the construction. Every time I make things and I'm slow, it's usually because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm procrastinating, like picking up at a certain point, tackling a certain design thing that I had to think about, and I just put it off. So if it's all laid out for me, I am confident that I can do it pretty quickly. So I will also have to do a vest or two after that, preferably a buttoned-up vest. I kind of like, again, Petite Knit. She has, what the hell is it called? The November vest. I might make that for my mom and my grandma. It looks a little long. I might shorten it. I don't know. I'm looking at some of the projects for it, and they look quite long. I don't think she'll like it that long, but I'm gonna do those vests after I do the other projects. I know this might seem bad of me to say here, but my mom says she doesn't need a knit and that she didn't ask. Like I propositioned all this, so it's my fault that I'm in this situation. But she's a little more willing to not get a knit. So if things don't go my way until Christmas, then hers and my grandma's are on the chopping block because I think my grandma's in the same boat. And so I might make them something smaller, but hopefully I can get to their knits too. If not, I'll just buy them gifts and make them their knits a bit later. So I think they're also like, I'm not someone who cares about getting something on the day, like birthday or Christmas. I guess is the only times you're getting gifts, but like if you give me a birthday gift 2 weeks later, a month later, I don't care. So same with Christmas. So I think they're in a similar mindset that it's not about the day and getting it on that day necessarily. They might not fully agree with me there, but I'm just assuming anyway. So that's all the Christmas stuff. That's the priority this fall until Christmas, obviously. So talking about my plans that are more exciting, that they're for me and they're more elaborate maybe. I don't have any sketches of these things. I don't sketch generally. So I don't have any. Maybe I'll make some little sketches where they're warranted here to show you, but we're talking about concepts. You're gonna have to walk with me here. Um, yeah. So chronologically, these are sort of the things that I intend to make for myself. Yeah, and so I think I'm going to start with this color work yoke sweater. So I've never knit top down. Um, I guess the patterns, I'm pretty sure both of the patterns are going to be top down. But I mean, the Lulu slipover is going to be like flat anyway. I don't know. But I'm sure that sweater's top down. So that would be like my first time doing that. But I've kind of made like a little swatch ish, not swatch, but like I was starting to sort of make a yoke just to test out for myself to see how big things would get. I didn't get too far in it. I was doing the short rows. So I might revisit that thing. It still exists, just off the needles, and maybe I'll try to. Well, I definitely before I do my thing, I'll do that. I don't know if I'll do it for sisters projects because it's all written out. Anyway, I'm really rambly. So before I do the yoke proper, I will continue that test just to see how things fit. But I've never done a yoke. I've never done reglans. I've never done top down. So the learning thing for me here. The color work will be in vaguely these colors that I will list here somehow. It's gonna be mainly white. The whole body will be white. The color work will be with black, some pinks, a couple shades of pink, and purple. Let me actually get. I was in Copenhagen recently, and I picked up a bunch of yarn while I was there. Again, in my previous video, I showed a project I'm working on with some of the yarn I bought, but then I also got. Hang on. Tag is not with it. I also got a couple more things, which maybe won't work. I don't know. I just kind of bought them to buy them, thinking they could work, but in practicality, I'm not sure. In actuality, I don't know. So I have this BC Garn baby alpaca in this purple, this bluey purple. It's I didn't notice in the store when I bought them, but they're two different, like they're the same BC Garn baby alpaca. They're just obviously one is older than the other or a different lot than the other. They have different whatever these are, tags, we'll call them right now, on them. So someone must have like returned an old one, I don't know. But yeah, they're slightly different in color, but they're such a thin yarn that I'd probably have to hold it. Sorry, the mint is making me lisp. I'll probably have to hold it double. I mean, it's kind of a very thin yarn. It's fingering, most likely, that I don't even know if it would be enough to hold it double. So, like, I don't know how relevant this will be to the project, but this is sort of the color that I want, and it also would be a small component of the overall color layout, so I think I can get away with this. Similarly, I got this yarn. I don't really know if I will use it in the project. I don't know if I love this fleshy pink color. I wanted like something very local as a souvenir yarn. This is mohair. It's I don't know what that says. This is 50 grams, 130 meters. It's by a local farmer guy there. I don't know. I picked it up at a farmer's market, and the man I talked to, he was very chatty and nice. But yeah, it's Tillandskabet. I don't know. That's the tag. Roast me for my pronunciation. But yeah, that's another thing I got. I might use it in the project. Again, I don't know if the pink is what I love. Like, I really like that pink, but It's a possibility, and it's the same thing as the purple yarn. It would be a smaller component in the larger color work. I don't know exactly what gonna fully do for the color work. I'm gonna have to look at like patterns to get inspiration on motifs to add. I want to kind of make this for, or I want to have my dog Rocky on it. If I can try to design a dog head repeat that looks like him, that's very lofty though, and it would be a bit more maybe a generic dog head, but I kind of want, maybe I'll do like the full body and just like a small, and we'll run along. But I don't know exactly when I got this idea, but my dog Rocky, he did pass away, like August 17th. I don't remember the day, but yeah, so it was pretty recently, and I just want to make it for incorporate him. I think I might have had the idea before he passed, and because I was already thinking of these colors, I think throwing in some type of dog motif was an easy sort of amendment to the idea. So I'd like to try to do some type of dog related, whether it's a realistic spitting image of his face or if it's just a black dog. I don't know. That's what I want. I was kind of hoping because he had a underbite, a big underbite, and I was kind of hoping to, it'd be kind of tricky, I think, but I wanted to kind of get the underbite in the motif, but I don't know if that'll happen, so I have to really think about it and how I want to lay things out. I think I'm also going to have the color work or some type of color work again on the cuffs. I don't know if I want it also on the hem. I feel like it might be weird if I don't also have it on the hem. I'm just thinking of also holding a white mohair with the whole thing. I don't know. I might just get like one skein ball, whatever, of mohair, and then when I need to swatch with all the colors, see what that mohair does to the color work. I don't know. So, but I might hold a mohair with all the. This is gonna be an expensive sweater, but it's like for Rocky, so I'm like, whatever. Oh, and then I guess I should talk about these other things that are inspiring them. Maybe I've already edited them in, and you're like, what? So I guess I don't know, I'm often influenced by music. I feel like corny saying it all the time, but just somehow it always inspires me in some way to think of something that sort of I find relates to the song, the music, sonically, what themes or whatever. Like, so, like, for example, the songs I'm picking kind of have like a cutesy element, a bit of a music box-esque sound, in my opinion. It all feels very Pink, the music, that it kind of plays into sort of like the music box here, but there's also in that direction. Design, I guess, carousel in general, that sort of porcelain. I may not read like so it's kind of so much like that, but it would be kind of inspired, but like some with like because there's other. I think I have like I have a playlist of songs I made so that are like inspiring this. So. I'll release the playlist when I finish the sweater. I don't know. So that's kind of the vibe for that sweater. The next thing I want to make after that, so I'm imagining this is like February, March by the time I'm getting here, realistically, but hopefully I can start working on that first sweater sometime in like November, December. That's lofty, I think, but hopefully I can at least start the process. Maybe not work on it full time, but start the process. And then the next thing I want to do will be another complicated color work knit. It's going to be like a Fair Isle jumper sweater. I don't know why I said jumper. I actually kind of prefer the word jumper to sweater, but it would be weird for me to always call sweaters, jumpers, because I'm not from jumper land. So this one will be kind of inspired by this sweater I saw I follow Popeye magazine. But I guess, I don't know, I think that it sort of put in my head that I wanted a color work or like a Farrell overall color work sweater like this. I'm not entirely sure what kind of construction I want to make for this. I don't know. I'll have to look into that more. I don't know how they're typically done. I assume they're top down. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's a long way away. So, again, this is something. I guess most of the patterns are like geometric, but I'll have to think of like what kind of patterns I want to put on the jumper, how frequent, and I don't know. I'll have to study some Fair Isle colorwork sweaters like this. I vaguely have an idea of the colors right now. For sort of a larger representation on the sweater, things that'll be like on the cuff and the ribbing overall, stuff like that. I'm thinking of like a maroon or like a winey Merlot, I don't know, or maybe even veering into plum. I don't know if I'm right in categorizing this color as plum. It's just the color, the word that comes to mind. But I don't know if I want it that purple. I think I do want a more of a reddish purple for sort of the more represented color. And then I feel like, I don't know if that color in particular is jewel tone, but I feel like all the accents I'm thinking of are broadly classified as jewel tone. I want some type of white, cream, undyed maybe, I don't know. It's just something light in there. I think a teal would be nice, and like a goldy yellow something could pop. Green and orange, sure, they can show up. I don't know. I don't know if I should veer into blue too. It's hard for me to imagine exactly what colors I want. And also I'm thinking like, would it be fun to have like one really bright color, at least one, to sort of flow through all the color work? I don't know. So I'm also thinking like maybe just like a true red, like that might be fun. So yeah, that's kind of the broad idea for my color work sweater. So that will hopefully be a midwinter knit. I want to get used to these things while we're in the season of sweaters, so I do want to prioritize them. The next few things I've sort of shifted my priority for. Originally, I had this one idea that was going to be first, but I just have too many Christmas knits that I can't feasibly do it first. It was going to be like my foray into top-down knitting for myself. This might be the last thing I work on, so we'll jump to the other two projects. These are decidedly less thought of and less conceptual. The first thing is a poncho, and it's only because I saw Padma in Top Chef wearing this poncho, and I just thought, I want a poncho. So she's always very chic, but she looked very, very chic in this episode where she was judging in the poncho. There's photos of her in person, in real life, wearing this poncho, so she must own it, I guess, or she stole it. Anyways, so you can get a better look at the poncho. I don't think I'm gonna copy the poncho. I just want a poncho. I do like the red. I don't have a lot of red. Haven't knit with red, I don't think. I do have another idea for knitting in red, but like actually a couple that are just like not on the docket this fall winter. So maybe this poncho that I make potentially will be as red, but yeah. So I just want a poncho because of Padma. So thank you, Padma. I don't even have anything on my mood board because it's so whatever. I want to make a cardigan. Actually, the striped vest thing that I'm making, I was intending to be a cardigan at first, and I was thinking of I want the cardigan to mostly be orange. I do love orange. That's like a color that I've chosen. I would like to think that I suit orange, but I don't really know. You can tell me, but I've that came from like Animal Crossing. I had oranges as my fruit on my island in New Horizons, and I just like made everything orange, and ever since I've just been like an orange super fan. So I want an orange cardigan. I also love teal. That kind of came up in Animal Crossing as well. So actually broadly like green blue. I like that whole thing, and it complements orange. So some spectrum of green, blue, teal will be incorporated into the cardigan of orange. I want to try to do like for whatever reason, a seamed raglan construction for that. And that's kind of it. It might be striped, it might be something wacky. There's no real plan, and it's kind of feels like it's not really going to happen anytime soon. I have all these other projects that are going to take a long time, so I'm not too specific about it right now. And the last thing that I was gabbing about that I was thinking I was going to do first, but I'm now pushing to maybe the spring, will be this vest. I'm confused on what to. It's gonna be a vest overall, but it's inspired roughly by medieval tabards, I believe, or surcoats, but I think it's more of a tabard. Tabards are like cloth, the garment that goes over armor. I don't know if it always. I don't know how historically accurate that is necessarily. I think these certain images look pretty. I trust these people to be faithful historical reenactors, but yeah, that's kind of where I draw inspiration from. But I think even more so, it's from like the artistic, extrapolated version of medieval clothing that you get in like video games and shit. I think I saw. I'll try to find. I don't have it on my mood board, but I'll try to find it. But I did see some art that kind of had the rough shape of the garment that I will be more so aiming for. These tabards are very much. They just look like vests, really. They're off the shoulder a little more. They're boxy. But I want to do maybe something with like a yoke, and then have like I don't know exactly how I'll do the construction. I don't know if it'll just branch off from the yoke, or if it will be like sewn underneath or picked up underneath the yoke. So there's a bit of layering. I maybe will have to sketch this one out, but there'll be like a panel at the front and back, and then probably ties at the side. That's sort of my running idea right now. But as far as like other elements on that go, like the first one I would knit as just a mock up, then just to see what works and what doesn't. And then I will hopefully try to refine this idea, maybe add color work eventually, and sort of, I don't know if I'll lean into the more historically accurate or inspired ideas with sort of uh, clear color blocking, and maybe like some singular intarsia piece. Think like house regalia, kind of, if that's the correct term. Something like that to be like my house colors or patterns or whatever, my family patterned colors, whatever you want to call it. Um, or if it'll be maybe more intricate color work, just vaguely, or if it'll be like cable work. I might try to do all of that, and then I might play around with the shaping and the fits. It might not be that yoke thing. I don't know if that yoke thing would work or if it would be practical at all. So it might end up being more like this traditional vest shape, but maybe just longer, and still have the ties at the side. I don't know. So, or maybe I'll make like a belt, or I don't know. There's a lot of options here. I do, now looking at the photos, I do like the idea of knitting like an actual surcoat or something big and long. I made something similar-ish. I was trying to kind of going. I like long flowy things. I guess I want more of that in my wardrobe. So making like a surcoat would be fun. Something long, and for that one I would go a little, maybe I'd maybe do like a color work or something for that. But that's even further into, that's like next fall. But for this tabard vest thing that I'm thinking of, I would like to get it to a point where maybe I convert it into a pattern to sell. I'd like to, though, figure out the potential ways people could knit it up, in regards to all that shit I was saying about like color work and family colors and crests and shit like that. So, and then even having cables, that could be cool. So it's going to be a process, and that might be my more of a spring thing. Try to get a mock-up ready for that, and then maybe figure out the pattern more in the spring and summer and try to get testing, and then maybe release it for the fall. If I can release it like end of summer for people to knit for the fall so they can wear it in the fall, that might be good. So I don't know if that is that a realistic timeline. I will be really following my first patterns this winter with the things I'm knitting for my sisters. So I'll hopefully have a better understanding of pattern writing there, but I've never not exposed to a lot of patterns, so I do want to make sure I have a good understanding of all that before I try to release a pattern. So I think the testing will be crucial. So yeah, that's all of my fall winter plans this year, 2025 and 2026. So thank you for watching. This was probably more rambly and longer than I intended. I'll try to edit this down. Hopefully you enjoy. Like, subscribe, stick around to see what happens, see if I get through to all of this. If you are interested in this vague idea of like the tabard vest situation, clap if you care. Comment down below, let me know, because maybe when it comes time, or not when it comes time, but like maybe I'll just have an idea if there's a demand or a want for something like this. So I don't know, say something, please. Pleek. Okay, have a good time wherever you are. Bye.